It's another Friday. Welcome to PM Personality Profile. On Fridays, we get to go into people's skins and get to know what ordinarily won't be in the public domain about the people we love, the people we cherish and admire, especially those inspiring stories they tell on this show. Stay with me, don't go nowhere. When I return from the break, my guest, a young chap who has undoubtedly done so well for himself and continue to impact lives through his career. Welcome back to PM Personality Profile. But listen to this. Bononie, Bononie, Bonon. No one else but you. May not look like original, but at least I tried. By now, you know my guest is the first gospel musician to win the VGMA Artist of the Year in his category. He's also a songwriter and a preacher. Joseph Oscar Mettle, better known by his stage name Joe Mettle, is my guest tonight. Good to see you, Joe.
Good to be here.
How have you been in the midst of COVID-19?
Gracefully, we've been good. We've been good.
Thank God for your life.
Amen.
Now, let's start from the days of Joseph Akwe Memorial,
Richard.
Kade 1 and 2, and I mean, all of that. So, the award-winning gospel artist. Who is Joe Mettle? Tell me about you.
Wow, that question is broad. So I normally would say I'm Ga. I'm from the Ga side.
Okay. From Accra. You're Accra boy.
Yeah, Gamashi. You know, there's Accra and there's Gamashi.
Okay.
Because even though Gamashi is inside Accra, it's actually not really paid attention to, but it's still here. The eldest of 6. Okay. I studied, what did I do? Marketing. So I always say that I'm a marketer by profession.
Okay.
But then by calling, I'm just a worship leader. I'm not any of those, just I'm a worship leader.
You're
that's
a worship leader.
Okay. So basically that's it. All the other ones you ask and then I'll tell you. Because if I have to describe,
I'm more interested in that bit.
Which
when you had to go to Joseph Akwe Memorial.
Is that okay?
At a point you had to go to Kade.
Oh, that one. I think you were there that day for the interview.
I mean, tell me about it.
Primary school it's actually called Richard Akwe. Somewhere around Galloway, if you know where Galloway is, around the Agboglushi area there. Okay. But that's where I started primary school, and at a point my mom had to take me to Kade. So I stayed in Kade for probably like a year and a half, and then I came back again to Akwe. But then I think when we came back, there was no space. So we were also moving to another place, Kolegono. So that was when I joined the St. Michael's and All Angels Anglican primary again. And then after that, I went to Kolegono 3 GSS, and then went to Modesco after that. I think I didn't finish Modesco. Out of it was financial constraints. So I was actually in my 3rd year. Then we used to do Form 4, so we do Form 3 and then Form 4. But then I think in Form 3, when I couldn't afford anymore, I dropped out. But then I still could do the work, so I worked with it for a while and then decided to further it again. So I went to New Century Career Institute again. That too, after 2 years, I was like, Charlie, I'm wasting time. So I left that one too, decided to, because I said I wanted to pursue a different course, because I couldn't do the draftsmanship anymore, because of the music. I had then started doing the music small. So the draftsmanship needed me to be settled, like always seated and drawing, and that wasn't going to work with the music. So I said, what else do I love to do, but can still merge it with the music? And that was the marketing. And the only way I could do the marketing was to have SSE, because then I had City and Guilds, and City and Guilds wouldn't work. So I went back to do remedial. I think I dedicated 2 years of my life. Did the first part, which was 4 subjects for the first year, 4 subjects for the second year. And then I added that and applied to the Pentecost University where I studied marketing.
Interesting. I've monitored you closely and I've realized that anytime you think the song I opened with, Bononi, and you always say it's your
my
testimony. Tell me about that testimony. I want you to share that with me.
You see, with all the stuff that I've told you, that's even the nicer ones. Growing up wasn't very comfortable, wasn't pleasant. So it took a lot of struggles and hustles. And in my head, I knew that God was taking me somewhere, or I was heading towards a place. But as to how it was going to happen, I had no idea. But I believed in the grace that God had given me. And so I walked in that, trusted Him, believed it. And today, where I see myself, when I look back, all I see is the grace of God. And that's the reason I say that my life and everything it's been has just been by His grace. So Bononi obviously translates literally to say, you are the one. If it's no, I don't think it's anybody but you. Because even the people that God brought, or the people that came your way to help you during your journey, were people that even God laid you on their hearts, and they said they would want to help you or be with you. So all of that can be attributed to just Him and His grace. That's it.
But you mentioned that you had to drop the draftsmanship at Modesco because of financial constraints here and there. How did you pull out and were able to get to
bounce
where you
back
are
again?
today?
So along the journey, I knew that I'll go back one day. So my plan was that, okay, let me just step out for a while, find something to do which would bring me a little bit of maybe money, and then when I've gathered or saved up enough, I'll go back. So that was when I started working with the draftsmanship. But where I went to, the person too said, you know what, because you don't have any qualification for your course, we would take it like you're studying with us rather than working with us. So at a point I realized it wasn't still helping, because I needed to now raise more, even to go back and further the learning process.
Was it because mom and dad were not willing to support your education? Or, I mean, there was no money.
There was no money. It wasn't like they were not willing. I grew up with my mom. I stayed more with my mom because she was moving a lot, so I always moved with her. And she was a petty trader. She started doing, when I was born and I could say Jack, what I could see her do was she sold leaves. Leaves that we used to sell food. Now, back in the day, it was a big business. So they normally would be given the leaves, and then we wrap them and sell them. Okay. So we sold that for a while. So you
sold some?
Oh, yeah. I was a big distributor.
Oh, okay.
Because my mom never went out. I was the one going. So I had the customers that my mom would give me, and then I'll go distribute to them probably. So
from day one, you were a marketer, even before you studied marketing.
So it was more of like, when they, let's say, if I have to go to school in the afternoon, then I go in the morning to work. And then if I have to go, let's say, in the morning, then I'll come after school. But most of the time, you have to do it quick, or sometimes very early in the morning if you still have to be in school in the morning. So that was how it was. Then she left that when the business went bad. And then she started selling like rice and wache and stuff. So we moved to that side too. So we've basically done petty stuff. So at a point, the money was not enough. And around that time too, there was more of us. So that was how come I never put any burden on both of them, both my dad and my mom. But I was like, how can I do it?
And being a first child.
You wanted and so I lived my life with the mindset that there's no help coming from anywhere if I don't do something. And that was how it was. So after I left the draftsmanship field, I started doing phone card business. Because around that time, phone cards was in the system. So we did like the whole one touch, Ariba around that time. Yeah. Sorry. So that actually was what we did for a while. And then over time, I decided, you know what, I want to go back to school. Okay. And then that was when, by God's grace, I met certain people in my life. There's one woman, she doesn't like it when I say it, but one Apostle Lee and Kofi. First time she met me, she was blessed by my ministry and everything, but she said, where do you go to school? I said, Mommy, I'm not going to school at the moment. She said, no, you need to go back to school. I said, if I have to go back to school, I wouldn't be able to afford it. She said, don't worry, just go, I'll pay for it.
Wow.
And then she started paying my fees again, made sure that I went back into school and all that. So, along my journey, God brought me to different people, different times that, was able to help me, support me through my journey, and this is where we are today.
Oh, wow. Such an interesting story. But let's talk about your career. I love your music. Many Ghanaians love your music. How do you feel about it?
I feel humbled about the fact that, you know, God could use someone like me to reach out to people the way my music does, and bless the hearts of the people, encourage people, you know, bring joy to the hearts of people. It's just a humbling experience. Very, very humbling experience. Like looking at where I'm coming from and who has made me today. Sometimes when I think about it, I'm like, it feels like, I don't know how to put it, but it feels humbling. That's the word.
Tell me how it all started. I know you started with Soul Winners. Is that where it started?
No, even way before Soul Winners.
Okay.
So back in the day, I used to play in church. I mean, I played drum in church. I started singing small along the line. I mean, I met a few some friends who, you know, they were more music oriented. We lived in the same area, you know, so they led me to a church where, you know, we started learning, trying our gifts and things. But one guy, and I'm always grateful to God for his life. He's now a pastor, William Wooda, who helped give me access to some of the instruments. You know, I followed him for a while. Later on, when he was moving to a different church, I followed him. We went to a church, Wonders Chapel in Bema Camp, where I sort of like started singing there rather than playing drum. Because where we used to be, I used to play drum, I wasn't singing. So at that side, I started singing before I came back again to my now church, and then I started singing there too, and that was how it started for me. So over time, when I realized that, you know, there was something that God had put in my spirit or called me to do, I went ahead to also start serving people who had gone ahead of me. So the likes of the Cindy Thompsons, back in the day, the late Danny Nete. So I was doing backup singing for them, background singing, until I joined Soul Winners as a lead singer. And then after Soul Winners, then I moved solo to what I do now as Joe Mettle.
But you guys were doing well with Soul Winners. I mean, why did you break up? Is it that something didn't go well, or is it that they were moving at a pace that was too slow for you?
No, it was just time for me to go to the next phase that God had called me to. But I didn't even do it that way. I think at a point, I was still with Soul Winners when I went to Pentecost University. Okay. So at a point, it was becoming a problem for the group, because sometimes they have a program, they need to be somewhere, and I also had maybe an exam or a class or something. So it was interrupting the things or the plans of the group. So I had to step back a little bit, allow someone else to step into that shoe, and then as and when I could come around, I was doing that. So when I was done with school, I realized that it's fine. I don't need to go back in, because it was also time for me to do what God was asking me to do. I literally had to obey, because Soul Winners was amazing and everything, but there was a vision they were working with, which I had to support whilst I was with them. But then there was something else God had told me to do, so I had to, you know, step out.
But of course, if God has taken you up there, how come you haven't done any collaboration, anything?
With them?
Seen you do anything with them? People say that you now see yourself here. And you see them there.
Oh,
no way.
They are literally my big brothers, and I will never stand anywhere to say, oh, they've never done anything for me. No. Soul Winners was very instrumental in my growth, even as a musician. Because you see, they gave me a tough skin, because they were all guys, like men, working with men, no woman on the team. Okay. So everything is like, we don't know tiredness until the work has to be done before everybody will say they're tired. So sometimes even when we're working, you could see that people are tired, but they don't have a choice. And the fact that, you know, we did different events. Sometimes you can do 3-4 events in one day. You know, that was the kind of group that we're part of. So I will never see myself higher than my people. They are my people. They will always be my people.
Do you have plans of any collabo? I mean,
so the thing with collabos,
that
for me, is based on the song. So depending on the song, I'm like, no, this song is Soul Winners sound. I don't mind. We'll always take it there. and work together.
And so
always.
Since you came out from Soul Winners,
I've
you've
never no, I've invited them even to my own events. No. I've invited them to my events more than once.
I mean, collaboration.
Not yet, but I'm sure soon. I'm sure one day it will happen. If I say here, probably I may I don't want to lie to your viewers, but when the time comes, I'm sure it will happen. Because it's something I would one day love to do. Like the fact that I'll have all my brothers again with me, even if it's for one song, even if it's for one day. I literally had to jump in when I invited them to my concert. They were supposed to play as a group. When they got to the song that I led, I stepped in. I was like, no, this one I'm going to sing with. And you know, that's the kind of rapport we still have.
Being the VGMA award winner, I mean, I know the pressure that comes with it. Now you have to produce music that meet the standard. You have to produce creme de la creme and all of that. How has that impacted on your career?
The VGMA, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, it has. I think during the time that it was announced, it exposed me to a few places and people that probably didn't know me before. You know, because the VGMA is like a wider sort of like platform. So some of the people who didn't know who I was then also started asking, oh, who is he, who is he? It made them also start following my work and on and on. But the VGMA itself won't put the pressure on you to do something you don't want to do or you are not ready to do. And that's a decision for most of the time the individuals that, okay, because I won, now I have to try to. But unfortunately, I don't know how to do things that way.
Because for some people, if I bring this music and it doesn't hit, like, I mean, I'm bringing down the standard, so I have to wait for it. So at the end of the day, you even wait and then you never come out. So that has happened to a few people.
Oh, no,
people who have won that award.
And I've heard people say it. I mean, I remember after the VGMA, somebody said, oh, there's a standard, you know, or there's a thing that happens to people who win. When they win, they go down because maybe the expectation or the bar is too high and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, I don't know about that. And they were like, you have to do something. If you don't, I said, boss, the point is I started the year not knowing that I was going to win something like that. So there was a plan, a structure for me for the year. And I wasn't going to change it because I won. The winning is supposed to encourage you even to do better, but not to, because the moment I start changing, everything will be messed up. So I wasn't going to do it. But I still receive the hates, the pressure. I mean, at the point, the media, like, you know, look at it. But it was the year that, to the glory of God, I had like one of my biggest songs. And that was the year after the win, I released Bononi. You know, so after most of the people that then had said that said, oh, okay, we understand. Then they stopped worrying. You know, they said, oh, blah, blah, blah. But it was one of the days, one of our events was like overpacked. I mean, the conference center, we almost had problem with the conference center. It was choked to the brim. And I was like, imagine if all of a sudden I said I was changing everything we had to do. Imagine what will happen. But the point is, every year we believe that God lays on our hearts the theme we work with, the arrangement we have to do, things that has to be done. If I don't feel in my spirit that I have to do this, irrespective of what is happening, it will never be done. That's me. You know, so I believe that it exposed me to some people, but at the same time, I never allowed it to also define what I do or the path that I have to walk on.
You talked about after winning the awards, you came out with Bononi. Bononi is actually out there. I mean, people enjoy it. It brings down some anointing. I'm not saying that because I'm sitting here. From My Gratitude, Sounds of Praise, Saved with Amazing Grace,
Swag,
and Onwangweni.
Okay.
That one, do that for me right now.
Yes, Unyamia, Oyo Weni, Bibi Aransu, New Year.
I'm feeling some goose pimples running with this one. I'm going to take a break on PM Personality Profile. When I come back, I'll find out from Joe Mettle what inspires his music. He's a songwriter, remember? All the songs he sang, he writes them himself. What really goes through his mind when he's putting down all those musics that sends people down the spine? We'll take a break. When we return, all of that. Stay with us. Welcome back to PM Personality Profile. My guest tonight, Joe Mettle. You know him. He's been around. He's been doing all those songs that you love to listen. And he just did one before we went on that break. We'll do that proper. Because that song, people use it a lot for prayer, for worship, when they really want to be in the spirit. So we'll get him to do it the more whilst the conversation goes on. But I'd like to know what really goes on in your mind at the time when you're putting down all those lines, so that when you come out, people really cannot do anything. And you talked about it earlier, that when you're going to perform, the whole place is full to the brim and all of that. Tell me, what really motivates you? What inspires you in writing those songs?
Few things and few amazing sources. One is the Spirit of God, because sometimes you just be there not doing anything, and then you just have that song dropped in your spirit, literally, and it just comes out like that. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I was just I was not doing anything, but like there was something happening around me which was sort of like, it got my mind all over the place, and all I could hear in my spirit was, "I am your peace." And that's all he said. And my whole spirit was just calm. But whilst that happened, the same way he said, "I'm your peace," a song sprang out of my spirit immediately. And so songs like that, I don't intentionally even decide to write. It's just the spirit that drops in you. And then also, sometimes you're just reading the word of God, and the revelation just catches you catch a revelation, and then the song comes out of it. Other times, situations you're going through, whilst you're praying, that word that still comes back to you springs out back a song, you know. So the words that you receive as encouragement in your spirit has a way. It's a song like Owaweni, because at a point I was just asking God questions and everything, and he says, "I am the God of wonders." He said, "Is there anything too hard for me? Is there something I cannot do? Have I not been with you from the beginning? Why would I leave you at this time? I'm still here. I'm with you. I will never leave you." So through all that was in my coming to me, I just started writing that song. And so sometimes that's how it works. There are times I would say, okay, you know what, I want to talk about this subject. And so I go probably by the piano, or I just start thinking through, pen things down, cancel, come back, those kind of things. There are times also like that. So it comes in different forms depending on the situation. I think there's been a few times too when I've dreamt about the song. I probably be dreaming, and I'll hear them sing somewhere, and I capture it, and I wake up, I record it, put it down, and then later work on it.
You're lucky. Some people dream and they don't even remember what they dreamt.
No, but at the time I've had a few of such where I dreamt about a song and I woke up and I couldn't remember. I was so upset that day because what I heard in the dream was just beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And sometimes you hear it with everything that is supposed to come with. So there were times when sometimes I'll be working with my guys and I say, no, maybe play this intro or play that intro. And I'm like, leave us to do that thing. I said, no. Like maybe this particular note.
This is what I heard in the dream.
You know, and sometimes they don't understand, but at least we've grown to that point where together we understand each other in a way that, you know, those things are no more a problem. So it comes in different forms, different types, different, you know, sources. So, yeah.
How does your family feel about you? I mean, are your parents were they disappointed when they wanted you to become a draftman? You started from all the way there, and then at the end of the day, you said, no, I don't want to.
Okay, I know that you're the one interviewing, right?
Sorry.
How would you have felt if I was your brother?
Now you're interviewing me.
No, it's just this one time.
Well, I mean, so now everybody is enjoying your music. I just want to know how your family feels about
They're proud.
you.
I mean, definitely they're proud. They're happy. My mom will always say that she's happy that they never stopped me from pursuing what God had told me to do. Because definitely at a point they would have loved to. And you see, that's why I believe in the Word of God. You know, there's a scripture in the Bible in Romans, I think 8:28, that says that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and are called according to his purpose.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a good thing that we lacked.
Yeah.
But part of the reasons was the fact that because we didn't have much, it didn't allow them to push me out of what God also had called me to. Because they couldn't force me to go back to school, or not the school Limpa, but they couldn't force me to do something else rather than what I'm doing, because if they want me to do something else, we would need money and we didn't have it.
Okay.
So it's like, it's not a loss completely for them.
Mm.
You know, the fact that I still have found a path, and the most important thing is even a path in God. It was my mom loves God, so she doesn't play with the things of God. So she was happy about the fact that, okay, this is the path you've told, it's a good one, just go and I'll support you. And today, I mean, she's enjoying the fruits of that labor.
And did you get same support from your siblings?
Oh, I'm the eldest.
Were they all boys? Or
No,
are they all boys?
There's 3 boys, 3 girls. But most of my siblings are young, I think. But I have two brothers. Like most of them, I think both are in their 30s.
Okay.
But they are all separate. So my dad and mom are not together. So my dad has a boy. My mom also has a boy. And then I'm the one between the two of them.
Okay.
Yeah, all my other siblings are all step.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And they all supported you?
Oh, yeah. Like I'm saying, they're all young. They they can't say a yes or a no. More or less, how do I put it? They are not supporting me much because they were younger.
Okay.
So I'm the one rather supposed to be there for them rather than the other way around.
There for you.
But now they're older, so they support.
They support you.
Yes.
But are you married?
Not yet.
I'm sure by now your mom especially will be putting pressure on you. I want to see my grandchildren.
I guess my mom knows. My mom understands that, you know, like at the right time, or when the time is set, it would happen. Because definitely she's my mother, so we have those conversations as well, so she understands.
Is the right time near?
The right time. Oh, no. When I say, I don't even mean the right time. When the time is set. Like when the time comes, that's the word. Not wrong or right time. But let's say it's tomorrow, definitely she'll get to know about it.
But you're eyeing someone already?
Oh, no, I'm with someone, not just eyeing.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So should we expect some massive wedding very soon?
In Corona or after Corona?
Whichever way.
Is it wedding or marriage? Which one?
Whichever way
Something
you want
will definitely
it, marriage, something will happen. By the way, how's Bella Mundi?
Bella. How is she like?
How is she? I mean, I know you're
I'm
friends.
sure she's fine.
She's fine. I'm asking.
She's on TV every morning.
I just want to find out. Are you still good friends after? I mean, all those issues that came, you know.
Oh, because we understand these things. Like we understand.
Yeah.
First of all, she works in the media, so she understands. I also happen to work with the media, so I understand how these things can be. I think this whole thing started it was somebody's joke.
Okay.
And then others took it very serious. It was somebody who was sitting somewhere
doing his own things,
and then people took it out of, you know. It's like, oh yeah, and then it was all over the place.
But she's not the one you're
No,
with.
no, she's not.
Okay, but you guys are still good
yeah,
friends.
well,
They say behind every successful man
is
a woman. So I'm sure by now I'm not the only person asking. A lot of people, even the people in your ministry, I mean, church, everywhere.
I'm sure now they even call it the $1 million question. So when they say they're about to ask, I know that's what they're about to ask.
They'll be like, Joe, when are you going to get married? Joe, I want to see my grandchildren. Joe, I mean, all those ones will come. So yeah, we're all happy for you. We're proud of what you do. We want to see. I mean, I will personally attend your wedding. Even if you don't invite me, I'll come. If they sack me, I won't go. Let's talk about the awards you've won. I know you've won awards in Ghana, outside the country. Tell me about it.
Awards.
Apart from VGMA,
I actually sometimes can't remember them. I think I've won Riga Awards in SA. There's also Trumpet Gospel Awards in South Africa as well. Africa Gospel and Media Awards a few times, also in London. And there's some award I won in the States, I can't remember. And then Ghana Music Awards, also UK. And then even in Ghana, there were some other. There are a few. I can't remember them, but I think Bass Awards, Africa Gospel music awards here in Ghana as well. Yeah, a few. I'm sure when I show you they are somewhere around, so it'll be easier.
Your Hall of Fame, we'll go there. We'll get all the awards. Plenty of them I've seen. We'll get all of that but among all your songs, you must have a particular one that you really love. Which one is that?
I think for me it's basically on, depending on what is happening or the situation around me, a song can be one that is really on my heart, because all of them are special to me depending on how they came, because some brings memory of what really was happening when I was writing them, and but then at the same time, when I'm supposed to allow the song to still minister back to me, depends on what is happening around. A song like, I have a song called Famisie. Famisie was a time when I really was praying to God to hide me, because there was so many things going on around me. I couldn't step out, literally, you know, but I needed to be hidden in Him. That, Father, even though I am out there, may my enemies miss me. May they not see me. May I be hidden in You, so that they would see me and not see me. You know, so take me off their mind, take me off their eyes. Like you know, because in my head or in my heart, I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing a good thing. I'm not going against anyone, you know. So sometimes when they come at you like that, you know. So I was just praying, and God was still just ministering that song in my heart, because I received that particular song through a dream, but not the full song. So during the time that all that was going on and I was meditating on it, I started writing the other verses of the song. A song like I said, Bononi, sparks out gratitude out of me. Whenever I want to be grateful. I'm grateful all the time. But when I'm in that mood where I just want to do more of that one, and I need to encourages me, you know. So there are different songs. My gratitude, I think my gratitude was a song. My everything, same thing, you know. So each one gives you a different kind of reflection based on what is happening to you at that time.
What do you make of the current music industry, especially with the young artists coming up? And I've noticed something, beefing has become one of the things. And for you, I mean, some time ago, I heard one of the artists, is it Comfort or Patience? One of the Nyakon, something Nyakon, who was talking about you and decided not to respond. That was a good thing you did. What do you make of this industry at this time, especially when beefing has become, I mean, for me, I think it's getting out of hand.
I think, I told you, because I did marketing, I understand these things. It's a marketing tool as well. I've forgotten what they call it. My marketing lecturer will be very upset. But if I'm a company and maybe a product, or a company is monopolizing the system with a particular product, and I feel like I have either similar or better product, I can actually jab them, like pitch, even do adverts against their brands, or put like hidden codes in our adverts just to attack them, to show that we have something better.
We're also around.
Yes, so and I think that's what is the same strategy that they are using even in this industry of music to do that.
But sometimes it gets bad.
Yeah. I mean, once it's not, there are human beings involved. It might be a joke to others, or it might be just an industry strategy. But emotions may come in. Once emotions come in, it would escalate beyond what they were intended, like they intended to do from the beginning. You know, so sometimes you'd realize that when it starts, it's just like, yeah, I'm better than this person, I'm better than that person, I'm better than... Then the next thing, you hear that they went somewhere and they were fighting for real. Because now it's getting personal.
Yes, it happened with Frida and Eno Baroski.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, it got out of hand.
So that's what the thing is. But, you know, and these things have been a problem in the past. I mean, if you check music history, the people that beefed and stuff, some resulted in death and other things in other parts of the world back in the day, you know. So even though it's a tool or marketing tool that helps, sometimes it can be risky, provided there won't be any emotions involved, you know. I'm sure it works for some people. It works for some people.
Do you have some young ones that you want to nurture, or you want to bring them along with you as you go up there?
Oh yeah, I have quite a lot of younger people around me. I mean, sometimes some of them may not necessarily be with me every single time, but they look up to you, they learn from you. They come to you when they are facing any problem with respect to the ministry and other things. So, sorry, I don't know. So there's quite a number of them, like, and it's not just even in Accra or Ghana, it's all over the world. So you have so many of them who literally God has brought into your life, and you sort of like guide through their journey of ministry. So there's quite a number. I'm not sure I can even count so many of them.
Some that we know?
A few are closer, and then there's some who come
the likes of who?
Oh, even the likes of Luigi, the likes of there's quite a number of them. The reason why I normally would mention Luigi is because, in addition to everything, he's also part of on my label. So that's why I normally would use him. But sometimes, because I may have not sought the permission of the others, I'm not able to put it out there and say, oh, I'm this person too. But there's quite a number of them, some in Kumasi, some here in Accra, some in, let's say, the US, the UK, different places. They all sort of like seek guidance and sort of like encouragement and wisdom for the ministry they are in. And by God's grace, you are able to help with the help of God.
We're still live on PM Personality Profile. Joe Mettle is my guest tonight, and we've been having some wonderful time talking about his life, talking about his career, and also very interesting perspectives that he brings to the industry. When I return from this break, Joe Mettle and I are going to do a collabo right here on this show. Stay there, don't go nowhere. Welcome back to PM Personality Profile. My guest, Joe Mettle. We've been having some interesting and enjoying ourselves in his studio. Joe Mettle, before I went on that break, I promised viewers that we're going to do a collabo. Yes,
okay.
We're going to do that, but just give them some... We'll do that. So stay on, because that will be coming up in a bit. But I just want to find out from you, Joe Mettle. Do you have a leisure time?
I do.
What do you do?
Sometimes I read. Most of the time, I think I watch probably a movie or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
What movies do you
Action.
watch? Action movies.
Where's my mother? Why did you touch?
And then finally, killer will die. Like.
Oh yeah, there's always a killer dying. But lately they've been tricking us. They'll leave the movie hanging and say, watch out. Like they don't say watch out for part 2. It just ends.
Let's talk about COVID-19 and politics. I know you don't normally like a lot of politics, but we are in the political season, and so we really definitely have to talk about it. First, let's talk about COVID-19, because COVID-19 has changed a lot of things. It's changed the way we do our things.
True.
How has it changed your way of doing things?
I think that me being able to move around back in the day, I used to get the chance to travel all over, doing the music, sharing the gospel, doing all those things. Now I can't do that because COVID-19 has happened. Even if you get the chance and somebody says, oh, the ports will be open, even if they are open, where you're going to, nobody's organizing anything there because of COVID-19 again. So it's affected the whole system, but we're still not allowing it to. That's why I think we've tightened the whole virtual system. So that's why we use a lot of the online productions and all those things to be able to still reach out to the people that we want to reach out to with the music. But it has affected. I mean, it's amazing when you have the people there. It's amazing when, there's an audience or there's a congregation and all that. It's beautiful. But now it's no more there. So you have to imagine them there.
It's also affected your income.
Revenue, definitely.
Everything. Oh, wow. Well, but what also do you make of the current political terrain?
Current political terrain, that's a very broad subject. I mean, sometimes, I don't know. Right now, Yes, that would be. I don't know, but we're all hoping for the best. I mean, we're hoping that things might change. We're hoping that, especially for the better. We're hoping that, leadership would do even better than they are.
What is it that you want change on our political landscape?
Systems. I think it's systems. There are a few of them that don't work, and sometimes certain people get affected by it, and so I think when the systems, but gradually it's changing. I mean, there are still systems being put together. I wish that there's more I can say about a subject like that, but I think some of the systems don't really work, and sometimes it ends up affecting, and so we're hoping that in the future things will get better.
And of course, we have about 4 months to go into the 2020
elections. Yes.
You've been following the
I actually
already heated temperature.
I know. I think that somebody, I was sharing with someone that I may not say much, but I still know. I live in Ghana. I have to know my environment. I have to know what is going on and what I can do and what I can't do. Especially what I have to do. Yep. Especially so. We're just hoping for the best in all the other ones, coming elections, and for us, what we're praying for is that there will be peace and understanding above every political affiliation and every political party that you belong to and everything. We all need to make sure that we put Ghana first, so that the peace that we've enjoyed all these years, we'll still keep enjoying it.
I've seen some musicians do campaign songs for some political parties. Do you have any?
No, I don't. I literally don't do that at all. It's something I would always say. I don't do it. I don't do it. The people the ministry that I do bless are of different parties, are of different supports base. So I won't be able to say, okay, hey guys, so now I support ASP, and then now you have to. No. It doesn't work that way. I'm an ambassador of the kingdom. Any other thing with respect to political stuff, like let's say parties you vote for, parties you support, all that would have to be your own with you. That decision needs to lie with you, personal decision. So that's what it is.
But with COVID-19, I want you to advise the public. Because COVID is real.
All right, family, COVID is real. I mean, I've seen a few people contract this disease and the stress they had to go through. I mean, I know that COVID, first of all, would say that COVID necessarily doesn't mean a death sentence, but at the same time, it has the risk of killing. It has the risk of changing the life of people. And so, like they've said, please obey all safety protocols. It's very important. Listen, if I tell you how far Aisha is sitting from me, the reason why probably you may not see me wearing them is because she's sitting far from me. Back in the day, it wouldn't be the case. But now, because of COVID, we have to obey all these regulations. And please wash your hands regularly with soap and the running water. Very important. And make sure that you always use alcohol-based hand sanitizers. If you don't really have to go to town, that thing still stands. But I realize that most people have thrown it away. If you don't really have to go to town or do anything, please just stay home and make sure that the mask is always on. Right now, when I'm done, even though we're still far apart, my mask will go back on immediately. I'm just breathing for a while and then I go back on. So please, please, please be safe. Ghana needs you for a long time. There's so much in you that this country can benefit from, and it will be a blessing. Not only Ghana, the world at large needs you healthy and safe. So please make sure you're safe from this disease.
Now, in the industry, there are a lot of young ones coming up, new discoveries here and there. Are they doing things right? Are they not doing things right? I need you to advise the young ones out there, those who look up to you, those who want to be up there but don't know how to go about it. You've just shared your experience as to how you started. There was no money to go to school, but you really knew that God wanted to take you somewhere. And true, God brought you here.
First of all, what I want to say is know God first. Know God first. I mean, the gifts will always be there. Don't be in a rush to share with people, but know the giver of the gift. Know, first of all, his intent for giving you the gift and the path that he wants you to go on. Once that is established, there's nothing challenging in this world that can derail you from what he's called you to do. If you establish the foundation properly, no matter how hard things get on your journey. And let me say it to you that the fact that you are gifted, the fact that you have this amazing voice and this amazing ministry does not guarantee that you will not face challenges on your journey. Whoever told you that is a lie. You will still have people look down on you. You will still have people reject you. You will still have so many things go against you. But the point is this: if you have been able to establish the foundation properly and God has assured you what he's called you to do, there's nothing, irrespective of how difficult it will be, that will derail you. And all I also want to say is, please be patient. Be humble. Know that there are people that came ahead of you. If you have the chance, please find someone who's even gone ahead of you. Serve them. One of the things I tell young people is this: service is one of the most important tools in ministry, you know, and but most of the time people don't take it serious. I've seen someone, they've gone through a path that I want to go through, but I still would feel like I know. Technology and exposure with respect to knowledge on the internet has made so many young people assume that they know what they're doing. But most of the time when they go and they hit, then now they come back. Meanwhile, they could have captured that knowledge from the beginning. So I tell people every time, see, find someone who you know you can learn from, submit to, and learn from them. It's the easiest way. It's like a school. You would think that you know all things. You challenge your teacher, but during an exam, you still need the help of your teacher. Okay. That's how it works. And so, but once it's God's calling, it's possible it will work for you. Believe in him.
Joe Mettle, with
yes,
that advice,
I shall.
Young ones out there, you heard it all from Joe. You've just released a new single. It's called what?
Yesumo.
Yesumo. Wow. So give us a line of that so we could go look out for it.
Mo, 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 Yesu Christo mo. Mo, 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 Yesu Christo mo. For all that you have done and all that you will do. Mo, 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 Yesu Christo mo. Eh, men rejected me, looked down on me, and said I wouldn't make it. But the one that lives in me is greater than he that lives in the world. He said he'll never leave me and never will forsake me. Mo, 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 Yesu Christo mo. That's it.
Another wonderful one coming from Joe Mettle, fresh from the oven. But of course, I promised you there was going to be a collabo. We can't leave here without that collabo. So, Joe.
So Aisha is coming to sing. Let me see if I can play this. How can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough to say thank you. There we go. Lord, you're my everything. Can I sing it again? How can I express my gratitude for all the many things you've done for me? Words are not enough to say thank you. There we go. Lord, you're my everything. That's all she can sing, so well done.
Joe Mettle,
Aisha,
it's been wonderful talking
it's
to
been
you.
great being here.
We could go on and on and on with Joe Mettle because he has a very interesting story. That'll be it for PM Personality Profile. Same time next week, I'll be coming your way with another wonderful personality. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Millie K made my beautiful dress. Call her on 0243224809 or visit her showroom on the Dakoma Nyamiche Road. I'm out.